Li Jinwu stared out the reinforced window of Earth's orbital station Delta, watching the endless sea of stars before him. His gloved hand absently traced patterns on the cold metal surface of his workstation, a habit he'd developed during his 5 years as a space technician. The station hummed with its usual quiet energy, life support systems and machinery working in perfect harmony. "Jinwu, we need you to check the external sensor array in Section G," came the calm voice of Control through his earpiece. "Routine maintenance shouldn't take more than an hour." "Copy that, Control," he replied, already moving toward the airlock chamber. As he suited up in his EVA gear, his movements were practiced and precise. Each click and seal of his spacesuit felt familiar, like putting on a second skin. The airlock cycled, and Jinwu floated out into the vast expanse of space. His magnetic boots engaged with a soft thunk against the station's outer hull. Earth hung below him like a marble of blue and white, clouds swirling across its surface in endless patterns. He made his way carefully along the predetermined path to Section G, his thruster pack letting out small bursts to keep him stable. The sensor array came into view, a complex network of detection equipment that helped the station track everything from space debris to approaching vessels. As he began his inspection, something caught his eye. His helmet display flickered with unusual readings, numbers scrolling faster than he could process. "That's strange," he muttered to himself, adjusting the sensitivity of his instruments. "Control, I'm getting some odd readings out here," Jinwu reported, his eyes scanning the space around him. "Something's interfering with the sensor calibration." Then he saw it, a soft blue glow among the debris field that surrounded the station. At first, he thought it might be a reflection from Earth, but the light pulsed with an unnatural rhythm. "I see something out here," he said, his heart beginning to race, requesting permission to investigate. After a moment of silence, Control responded, "Permission granted. Maintain visual contact with the station and keep your emergency beacon active." Jinwu carefully fired his thrusters, moving closer to the mysterious object. As he approached, he could see it was roughly spherical, about the size of a basketball. The surface wasn't smooth like he expected. It was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change as he watched. "Control, I'm about 5 meters from the object now," he reported, his voice steady despite his growing excitement. "It appears to be artificial in nature. The surface is covered in some kind of moving patterns. I've never seen anything like it." As he reached out toward the object, his neural interface, a standard piece of equipment that helped space workers interact with complex machinery, began to tingle. The sensation started as a gentle buzz at the base of his skull, but quickly grew stronger. Suddenly, his vision filled with streaming data. Complex schematics and blueprints flashed through his mind. He saw spacecraft designs that defied everything he knew about physics, propulsion systems that could revolutionize space travel, and technology that seemed centuries beyond current human capabilities. "Control," he gasped, trying to process the flood of information. "Something's happening. The object, it's interfacing with my neural implant. I'm seeing things I can't even begin to describe." The stream of data continued, and Jinwu fought to stay focused. His training kicked in, and he began mentally recording and categorizing what he was seeing. The designs seemed to adapt and shift in response to his thoughts, as if the object was teaching him, showing him exactly what he needed to know. "Jinwu, what's your status?" Control's voice cut through his amazement. "Your vital signs are elevated." "I'm okay," he managed to respond. "But this object, it's not just alien technology. It's trying to communicate, to teach us something." Using his cargo tether, Jinwu carefully secured the object. As he did, the flow of information slowed to a manageable stream, but the object continued to pulse with its mysterious light. He could feel the weight of the moment. This wasn't just a discovery, it was the beginning of something much bigger. As he made his way back to the station, Jinwu's mind raced with the implications of what he'd found. The schematics in his head weren't just improvements on existing technology. They were complete redesigns that could change humanity's place in the universe. The airlock cycled, and as Jinwoo stepped back into the station, he knew that everything was about to change. He looked down at the glowing object, now safely contained in a specimen container, and smiled. Whatever this thing was, wherever it came from, it had chosen to share its secrets with humanity. And Jinwoo had a feeling this was just the beginning of a much greater adventure. The news of Jinwoo's discovery spread through Earth's Space Command like wildfire. Within days, a special facility was built in the heart of their main research center, dedicated solely to studying the mysterious object and its technological secrets. The project was named Stellar Dawn, and Jinwoo found himself at its center. On his first day at the facility, Jinwoo met Kim Hana, a quiet but brilliant engineer known for thinking outside conventional boundaries. She had been specially chosen for her unique approach to problem solving and her deep understanding of experimental technology. "The data you downloaded is incredible," Hana said, not looking up from her workstation as Jinwoo entered the lab. Her fingers moved swiftly across multiple holographic displays, sorting through the complex schematics that had been extracted from Jinwoo's neural interface. The lab hummed with energy as various machines analyzed the alien object, which now floated in a contained energy field at the center of the room. Its soft blue glow cast dancing shadows on the white walls, and its surface patterns continued their hypnotic dance. Jinwoo walked over to Hana's station, watching as she manipulated the 3D projections of spacecraft components they'd begun to design. "Have you made any progress understanding how these systems work together?" Hana shook her head, pushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "These systems are unlike anything we've ever seen. Look at this propulsion design. It's as if it's meant to adapt to our current technology. But something's missing. We're missing some crucial element." For weeks, they worked around the clock. The lab became their second home, with empty coffee cups and technical drawings scattered across every surface. They tried countless approaches to integrate the alien technology with human systems, but each attempt ended in failure. The breakthrough came on a quiet Tuesday evening. Most of the staff had gone home, leaving Jinwoo and Hana alone with their frustrations. Jinwoo was absently playing with a holographic representation of one of the alien circuits, twisting and reshaping it like a puzzle piece. Suddenly, the circuit began to glow brighter. Hana noticed it first. "Jinwoo, look. The energy signatures are changing." They watched in amazement as the circuit adapted and transformed in response to Jinwoo's creative manipulations. It wasn't following any known engineering principles. It was responding to intuition and imagination. "That's it," Hana exclaimed, her eyes wide with realization. "We've been approaching this all wrong. We've been trying to force it to work within our established rules of engineering, but this technology doesn't want to be constrained by our limitations." Over the next few days, they completely changed their approach. Instead of trying to make the alien technology conform to human standards, they let their creativity guide them. They discovered that the technology responded to innovative solutions, almost as if it was teaching them to think differently about engineering itself. Progress came quickly after that. Components that had refused to integrate suddenly merged seamlessly. Systems that had been incompatible began working in harmony. It was as if the technology was rewarding them for breaking free from conventional thinking. "It's like it's alive," Hana remarked one evening, watching as a newly integrated power system pulsed with energy. "Not in the traditional sense, but it adapts and grows with us. It's teaching us as much as we're learning about it." The project team expanded, but Jinwoo and Hana remained at its core. They worked together seamlessly, their different approaches complementing each other perfectly. Where Jinwoo brought practical experience and intuition, Hana contributed theoretical knowledge and methodical analysis. As the weeks passed, their understanding of the technology grew exponentially. They began to see patterns in its design that suggested it wasn't just meant to advance human technology, it was meant to advance human thinking itself. The first successful integration came 2 months into the project. A small test vessel, hardly bigger than a shuttle, was equipped with a hybrid drive system that combined human and alien technology. The ship's systems worked together in perfect harmony, achieving power levels that their instruments could barely measure. But more impressive than the technical achievements was the way the technology continued to evolve. Each successful integration seemed to unlock new possibilities, revealing deeper layers of innovation they hadn't even imagined. Standing in the observation room, watching their creation come to life, Jin-Woo and Hannah shared a moment of quiet pride. They had done more than just integrate alien technology. They had begun to understand a new way of thinking about engineering itself. "This is just the beginning, isn't it?" Hannah asked, her eyes fixed on the gently humming ship. Jin-Woo nodded, remembering that first moment in space when the object had shared its secrets with him. "I think that's exactly what it was designed for, to help us take our first steps into something much bigger than ourselves." The alien object continued its mysterious pulsing in its containment field, its patterns shifting and changing like a silent language they were only beginning to understand. Whatever civilization had created it, they had given humanity more than just advanced technology. They had given them a new way to look at the universe itself. The launch day arrived with a mix of excitement and nervous energy filling the control room. The Starweaver sat in its dock, its sleek hull reflecting the morning sunlight. The ship looked deceptively simple from the outside, but within its walls lay technology that would change humanity's future. Jin-Woo sat in the pilot's chair, his hands hovering over the controls while Hana worked at the engineering station behind him. The rest of the small crew, chosen for their open minds and adaptability, took their positions throughout the bridge. "Starweaver, this is Control. You are cleared for launch," came the announcement over their comms. "Good luck out there." Jin-Woo took a deep breath and engaged the hybrid drive system. The ship responded instantly, but not in the way they expected. Rather than the usual mechanical vibrations of a standard engine, the Starweaver seemed to come alive around them. The walls hummed with an almost musical tone, and the control interfaces brightened with a soft, pulsing light. "That's different," Jin-Woo remarked, feeling the ship respond to his lightest touch. "Hannah, are you seeing this?" Hana was already deep in her readings, her fingers flying across multiple screens. "The integration between systems is far beyond our simulations. It's as if the ship is learning and adapting in real time." The Starweaver moved out of Earth's orbit with incredible grace. Its movements were smooth and precise, more like a living creature than a machine. As they pushed the ship to higher speeds, the hybrid drive performed beyond their wildest expectations. "Jin-Woo," Hannah called out suddenly, her voice filled with wonder. "The ship's systems, they're not just working together anymore. They're evolving. I'm seeing patterns in the data that suggest the emergence of a new form of artificial intelligence." The crew watched in amazement as their displays began showing information before they even requested it. The ship seemed to anticipate their needs, adjusting its systems to optimize performance without being asked. "It's like it knows what we want before we do," one of the crew members observed. They pushed further into space, heading toward the Kuiper Belt to test the ship's capabilities away from Earth's busy orbital lanes. The Starweaver responded beautifully to every challenge they presented, its performance improving with each maneuver. Hannah spent hours studying the emerging intelligence within the ship's systems. "It's not like any AI we've ever developed," she explained to Jin-Woo during a quiet moment. "It's a perfect blend of human and alien thinking patterns. The alien technology isn't just adapting to our systems, it's helping our technology evolve." As they reached the outer edges of the Kuiper Belt, their sensors picked up something unexpected. At first, they thought it was just another piece of space debris, but the readings quickly proved otherwise. "Unknown vessel detected," the Starweaver's systems announced, displaying detailed scans of a ship unlike anything they'd ever seen. Its design was clearly not of Earth origin, with flowing lines and materials that seemed to bend the very light around them. Before the crew could react, the alien ship dropped out of what appeared to be some form of faster-than-light travel right in front of them. It was massive compared to the Starweaver, its hull shimmering with an otherworldly iridescence. Multiple energy signatures detected, Hana reported, but her voice held curiosity rather than fear. They're scanning us. The Starweaver's new intelligence responded automatically, establishing a base level of communication with the alien vessel. To everyone's surprise, the foreign ship's crew seemed more startled by them than they were by the aliens. "They're opening a communication channel," Jinwoo announced, watching as symbols began appearing on his screen. The Starweaver's systems worked quickly to translate the alien language. The message that came through was clear. "Human vessel, your technology. It's impossible. How did you achieve this level of integration?" The alien crew's amazement was evident even through the translation. They had clearly never expected to find such advanced technology in what they considered to be a developing system. As Jinwoo and Hana explained their discovery of the mysterious object and their subsequent work, the aliens' respect grew visibly. The Starweaver's unique blend of human creativity and alien technology had achieved something that even more advanced civilizations hadn't managed: true technological symbiosis. "Your ship," the alien captain transmitted, "represents something we thought impossible. Would you be willing to share your insights with our people?" In that moment, Jinwoo and Hana shared a knowing look. Their journey had just begun, but already they had achieved something remarkable. Humanity's first peaceful contact with an alien civilization, brought about not through politics or power, but through innovation and understanding. The Starweaver hummed contentedly around them, its systems continuing to evolve and adapt. They had created more than just a ship. They had built a bridge between worlds, opening the door to possibilities they had only dreamed of before. Word of the Starweaver's capabilities spread quickly through the galaxy. Within weeks, Earth received an official invitation from the Galactic Council, a gathering of the most advanced civilizations in known space. The message spoke of friendship and cooperation, inviting Earth to participate in what they called the Stellar Trials. Park Minji sat at her tactical station aboard the Starweaver, carefully reviewing the trial parameters that had just been transmitted. Her brow furrowed as she analyzed the data, something about the numbers not sitting right with her years of tactical experience. The crew gathered in the ship's briefing room, excitement visible on their faces. Jinwoo and Hana sat at the front, discussing the upcoming trials with the other officers. The room buzzed with conversation until Minji cleared her throat. "I've been studying the trial parameters," she began, her voice steady but concerned. "Something isn't right about these challenges." She brought up a holographic display, showing complex patterns of energy readings and stress calculations. "Look at these power requirements. The levels they're asking for are far beyond standard testing procedures." The room grew quiet as Minji continued her analysis. "These aren't simple demonstration runs. According to these specifications, each trial pushes vital systems to their absolute limits and beyond." Hana leaned forward, studying the data. "She's right. These energy outputs, they're not testing capabilities, they're testing breaking points." Minji pulled up another display. "The first trial alone requires power levels that would tear most ships apart, and each subsequent challenge gets progressively more demanding." "But why?" Jinwoo asked, his eyes scanning the data. "Why design trials that could destroy participating ships?" The Starweaver's AI contributed to the discussion, displaying additional analysis on the main screen. It highlighted patterns that even Minji hadn't noticed, subtle design elements in the trials that seemed specifically crafted to stress-test revolutionary technologies. "I think I understand," Minji said slowly. "These trials aren't about showcasing technology at all. They're about eliminating potential competitors. Any ship that can't handle these extremes would be destroyed or severely damaged." The crew sat in silence, letting the implications sink in. The Galactic Council's friendly competition suddenly looked more like a carefully designed trap. "The question is, Hanai spoke up. Do we accept the challenge anyway? Jinwoo walked to the front of the room, studying the trial parameters more closely. The Starweaver isn't like other ships. Its adaptive systems might be able to handle these stresses in ways the Council hasn't anticipated. Minji nodded thoughtfully. And we have one advantage they don't know about. We've already recognized their true intentions. We can prepare accordingly. Over the next few days, the crew worked tirelessly to prepare for the trials. Minji ran countless simulations, looking for ways to protect the ship's vital systems while still meeting the challenge requirements. Hana and Jinwoo worked with the ship's AI to develop new adaptive protocols. The Starweaver itself seemed to understand the gravity of the situation. Its systems evolved at an unprecedented rate, developing new protective measures and fail-safes that even its creators hadn't thought possible. As the day of the trials approached, Minji called another crew meeting. I've developed a strategy, she explained, bringing up a new set of tactical displays. Instead of trying to meet their power requirements head-on, we can use the Starweaver's adaptive capabilities to redirect and distribute the stress. She demonstrated using a simulation, showing how the ship could appear to be straining under the trials while actually operating well within safe parameters. We'll give them a show, she said with a slight smile, but not the one they're expecting. It's risky, Hana pointed out. If they detect what we're doing. They won't, Minji assured her, because they're not looking for innovation. They're looking for failure. Their own prejudices will blind them to what we're really doing. The crew spent their final days before the trials running practice scenarios. The Starweaver learned and adapted with each simulation, its systems becoming more efficient and responsive. Minji's tactical predictions proved increasingly accurate, and the ship's AI developed new ways to mask its true capabilities. On the eve of the trials, the crew gathered one last time. The mood was tense but determined. They knew they weren't just fighting for their ship anymore. They were fighting for Earth's place among the stars. Whatever happens tomorrow, Jinwoo addressed the crew. Remember that we've already achieved something remarkable. We've created a ship that thinks and adapts in ways no one thought possible. Now it's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do. As the meeting ended, Minji stayed behind, running through her calculations one more time. The Starweaver's soft hum seemed to resonate with her determination. Tomorrow, they would face the trials, not as victims walking into a trap, but as innovators ready to turn the tables on those who sought to eliminate them. The ship's AI displayed one final simulation, showing their probability of success. Minji smiled at the results. The Galactic Council had designed their trials to break ships, but they had never encountered anything like the Starweaver. Tomorrow would prove that sometimes the best way to win wasn't to play by the rules. It was to change the game entirely. Engineer Song Ta-hyun had always been different from his fellow crew members. While others rushed to prepare for the trials, he spent long hours studying the original artifact that had started their journey. The glowing object sat in its containment field in his lab, its patterns still dancing across its surface. Late one night, as the Starweaver drifted in space awaiting the trials, Ta-hyun noticed something unusual in the artifact's energy patterns. He had been running a new type of scan, one that combined human and alien scanning techniques, when his instruments detected a hidden data layer buried deep within the object's structure. This can't be right, he muttered to himself, adjusting his scanning equipment. The readings suggested a form of data storage far more advanced than anything they had seen before, yet somehow familiar. The ship's AI helped him process the encrypted information, its adaptive algorithms working in harmony with Ta-hyun's intuitive approach. As the data began to decrypt, his eyes grew wide with disbelief. Everyone needs to see this, he said, his voice barely a whisper. He called an emergency crew meeting, his hands shaking as he prepared his findings for presentation. The crew gathered quickly, curiosity evident on their tired faces. Jinwoo, Hana, and Minji sat in the front row, watching as Ta-hyun connected his data pad to the main display. What I'm about to show you will change everything we thought we knew. Ta Hyun began, his voice steady despite his excitement. The artifact we found. It's not alien technology at all. He brought up a series of decoded images and texts. These records were hidden within the artifact's crystal matrix. They tell a story. Our story. But from thousands of years before our recorded history. The display showed images of ancient human cities that reached into the clouds, vessels that sailed between stars, and technology that made their current achievements look primitive in comparison. There was a human civilization, Ta Hyun explained, that reached levels of advancement we can barely imagine. They spread across hundreds of star systems, developed technologies that could reshape planets, and unlock the secrets of consciousness itself. The crew sat in stunned silence as Ta Hyun continued, but they saw something coming, a great catastrophe that would force humanity to start over. Instead of trying to prevent it, they prepared for it. He showed them more data, revealing the true purpose of the artifact. They created this technology and others like it, seeding them throughout space where humanity would eventually find them again. They designed it to respond only to human creativity and innovation, qualities they knew would survive any catastrophe. Hanai spoke up, her voice filled with wonder. That's why the technology adapts to our thinking patterns so perfectly. It was made for us. By us. Exactly, Ta Hyun nodded. The artifact isn't just technology. It's a message from our ancestors. They knew humanity would rise again, and they left us the tools we would need when we were ready. Jinwoo stood up, walking to the display. The alien civilizations in the Galactic Council. They must know about this. That's why they're so desperate to stop us from developing this technology. Minji added, they're not testing us. They're trying to prevent us from reclaiming our heritage. Ta Hyun brought up one final set of data. There's more. The artifact contains coordinates, locations of other artifacts and installations left behind by our ancestors. The Starweaver's AI has already begun processing the navigation data. The implications hit the crew like a wave. They weren't just fighting for their place among the stars. They were reclaiming humanity's lost legacy. Our ancestors knew exactly what they were doing, Ta Hyun said softly. They didn't just leave us technology. They left us hope. They knew that human creativity and determination would eventually lead us back to the stars. The crew spent the rest of the night reviewing the data, their preparation for the trials temporarily forgotten. The Starweaver's AI integrated the new information, its systems evolving even further as it accessed the ancient knowledge. As morning approached, Jinwoo gathered the crew one last time. Tomorrow, we face the trials. But now we know we're not just proving ourselves to the Galactic Council, we're proving ourselves worthy of our own heritage. The artifact pulsed softly in its containment field, its pattern seeming more familiar now that they knew its true origin. It wasn't just a piece of advanced technology. It was a bridge between humanity's forgotten past and its unlimited future. Ta Hyun stayed in his lab after the others left, studying the artifact with new eyes. You've been waiting for us all this time, he said quietly to the glowing object, waiting for us to be ready to understand. The Starweaver hummed around him, its systems incorporating the ancient knowledge into its ever-evolving architecture. They had uncovered more than just the truth about the artifact. They had discovered the truth about humanity's place in the universe. And tomorrow, they would begin the journey of reclaiming their birthright among the stars. The day of the trials began with an unsettling calm. The Starweaver hung in space, surrounded by ships from the Galactic Council, their sleek forms casting long shadows in the starlight. Jinwoo sat at the helm, watching as representatives from a dozen advanced civilizations gathered to witness Earth's supposed demonstration. Final systems check complete. Haina reported from her station. The ship is ready. Minji monitored the tactical displays, her expression grim. Multiple weapon systems active on council ships. They're trying to hide them, but our sensors can detect the power signatures. The first trial began smoothly enough. The Starweaver performed the required maneuvers with grace, its adaptive systems handling the stress exactly as they had planned. But halfway through the second trial, everything changed. Energy spike detected. Minji called out. Council ships are moving to surround us. A voice boomed through their communication systems. Crew of the Starweaver, your vessel is now property of the Galactic Council. Power down your systems and prepare for boarding. Jinwoo shared a quick look with his crew. They had prepared for this possibility, but the reality of facing down the combined might of the galaxy's most powerful civilizations was still daunting. We know what you really are, the Council spokesperson continued. Humanity is not ready for this level of technology. The legacy you've discovered does not belong to you. That's where you're wrong. Jinwoo responded calmly. It belongs to us more than anyone. Hannah, initiate Protocol Omega. The Starweaver's systems surged to life in ways the Council had never seen before. The ship's AI, enhanced by the ancient knowledge they'd discovered, began implementing strategies that defied conventional space combat logic. They're powering up weapons, Minji reported, targeting solutions incoming from multiple vectors. Jinwoo's hands flew across the controls. Everyone hold on. Let's show them what human adaptability really means. The Starweaver moved like a living thing, its movements fluid and unpredictable. Where Council ships expected it to retreat, it advanced. When they predicted an attack, it slipped through their defenses like water through fingers. Hannah's voice rose above the chaos. The ship's learning from every move they make. Each attack pattern they use gives us more data to work with. Council ships fired warning shots, energy beams cutting through space where the Starweaver had been moments before. But Jinwoo and the crew worked in perfect harmony with their ship, staying one step ahead of every attack. They're trying to trap us in a tractor beam network, Minji warned. Standard escape vectors are blocked. Jinwoo smiled. Then we'll make our own vector. Taehyun, give us everything the engines have got. The Starweaver's hybrid drive system responded instantly, channeling power in ways that bypassed normal physics. The ship spun and dove through gaps in the Council's formation that shouldn't have existed, its adaptive shields absorbing the energy from glancing hits and turning it back into power. That's impossible, came the shocked voice of a Council commander. No ship should be able to move like that. But the Starweaver wasn't just moving. It was dancing through space, demonstrating a level of control and adaptation that left the Council ships struggling to keep up. Every attempt to trap or disable the Earth vessel only showed how far behind their own technology had fallen. They're coordinating for a mass attack, Minji announced. All ships charging primary weapons. Perfect, Jinwoo replied. That's exactly what we wanted them to do. Hannah, activate the resonance pulse. The Starweaver released a carefully calibrated energy wave, one that interfaced with the Council ship's weapons systems in ways they never expected. Their own energy turned back on them, not damaging their ships, but temporarily disrupting their ability to track or target the Starweaver. In the confusion that followed, Jinwoo and his crew demonstrated exactly why humanity's ancient ancestors had left their legacy specifically for them. The Starweaver moved through the Council fleet like a ghost, untouchable and unstoppable. We could disable their ships, Minji pointed out. We have the capability now. Jinwoo shook his head. We're not here to fight. We're here to prove something. Plot a course out of the system. Let's show them how far we can go. The Starweaver's engines lit up the darkness of space as the ship prepared for its most dramatic demonstration yet. The Council fleet could only watch as the Earth vessel activated technologies they had thought lost to time, slipping away into the depths of space with an elegance that left no doubt about humanity's worthiness. As they left the Council ships behind, the crew of the Starweaver knew they had done more than just escape a trap. They had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their technology or their heritage. It was their ability to adapt, to think differently, and to face challenges with creativity and courage. The stars stretched out before them, full of promise and possibility. They had earned their place among them, not through force or fear, but through the very qualities that had made humanity special from the beginning. The return of the Starweaver to Earth marked the beginning of a new era for humanity. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, thousands gathered to welcome home the crew who had changed the course of human history. The morning sun caught the ship's hull, making it shine like a beacon of hope. In the months that followed, Earth's scientific community worked tirelessly to understand and implement the ancient technology. Research centers around the world began developing new ships that combined the recovered knowledge with modern human innovation. Each breakthrough brought humanity closer to reclaiming its place among the stars. Jin Wu walked through one of these new shipyards, watching as workers assembled vessels that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. The familiar hum of hybrid engines filled the air, reminding him of his first journey aboard the Starweaver. Hana had taken charge of the engineering division, teaching others how to work with the adaptive systems. Her students learned not just the technical aspects, but the creative thinking needed to unlock the technology's full potential. The most important thing to remember, she told her classes, is that these ships aren't just machines. They're partners in exploration, growing and learning alongside us. Minji's tactical innovations had revolutionized space defense systems. She worked closely with Earth's space forces, developing new strategies that emphasized adaptation over aggression. Her experiences with the Galactic Council had taught her the value of being prepared without being threatening. Taihyun spent his days studying the growing collection of recovered artifacts, each one revealing new pieces of humanity's forgotten history. His discoveries helped shape humanity's understanding of its own past and potential future. The Starweaver itself had become more than just a ship. It served as a training vessel for new crews, its AI helping them understand the unique relationship between human and machine that made such advanced space travel possible. One evening, the original crew gathered in their old briefing room aboard the Starweaver. The ship hummed softly around them, its systems as familiar as an old friend. "Hard to believe it's been a year," Jin Wu said, looking at his companions. Each of them had changed, grown stronger and wiser from their experiences. "The Council has been quiet," Minji reported. "Our satellites have detected their ships at the edge of our solar system, but they haven't made any aggressive moves." Hannah smiled. "They're watching us grow, trying to understand how we've achieved so much in such a short time." "They still don't understand," Taehyun added. "It's not just about the technology. It's about who we are, who we've always been." The crew's next mission would take them further than any human had traveled in recorded history. They would follow the coordinates found in the original artifact, seeking out more pieces of humanity's legacy. Earth's orbital stations now buzzed with activity as ships came and went, carrying explorers and settlers to newly established colonies. The fear that had once surrounded space travel had been replaced by excitement and wonder. Young people from around the world dreamed of following in the footsteps of the Starweaver's crew. Training programs couldn't keep up with the number of applicants who wanted to learn about the new technologies and explore the stars. As the crew prepared for their upcoming mission, they took time to visit one of these training centers. Watching the next generation of space explorers, they saw the same spark of creativity and determination that had helped them succeed. "The stars weren't our destination," Hannah told a group of eager students. "They were our beginning. Each of you carries within you the same potential that our ancestors saw thousands of years ago." The Starweaver waited in orbit, its systems fully upgraded and ready for new adventures. The ship had grown alongside its crew, becoming more than any of them had imagined possible. As they made their final preparations, Jin Wu gathered his crew one last time. "Whatever we find out there," he said, "we carry with us not just the legacy of our ancient past, but the hopes of our present. Every step we take among the stars is a step forward for all of humanity." The crew took their positions, each feeling the weight and wonder of their journey ahead. The Starweaver's engines hummed to life, ready to carry them into the unknown. Earth grew smaller behind them as they set out on their new mission. But they knew they weren't leaving home behind. They were helping humanity find its way back to the stars where it had always belonged. And as they ventured into the depths of space, they carried with them the knowledge that every discovery, every challenge, and every triumph would help shape humanity's journey back to its rightful place among the stars. Their adventure had only just begun. End of story.